Go to the website, genesispark.org.
Okay.
The guy who does that website is in New Hampshire. His name is Dave Wetzel, Wetzel, a good friend of mine. He just got back a few months ago, I say November, what's that, 8 months ago now, from Papua New Guinea. He went there to the remote parts of Papua New Guinea where there have been reports from World War II of American soldiers reporting seeing pterodactyls. So he went there, up in the middle of no place, Papua New Guinea, up in the mountains where nobody goes, and he interviewed people there, the natives. I've got I'm looking at a bunch of his pictures here in front of me.
Yeah, I think I've read about this, actually.
Yeah, and when he asked them about the ropin, they said, oh, yeah, ropin, big, huge bat, comes out at night, glows in the dark. And he said, what? And as they described this thing, he showed them the outline, the silhouette outline of about, I guess he had a book with maybe over 100 different silhouettes, from the sparrow to the turkey vulture, including pterodactyls, quetzalcoatlus, rhamphorhynchus, and they would consistently pick out the same one just based on the silhouette. The rhamphorhynchoid, which I guess most people would classify as a dinosaur, though technically it's a flying reptile. They're in dinosaur books, that's for sure. He said, you mean those are still alive? I said, oh, yeah, I live up in the mountains. When I was speaking at the Pensacola Junior College right here in town, about 4 miles from my house, I was speaking to a class called, my next-door neighbor teaches the class. It's called the English as a Second Language, ESL class.
Yeah.
I mentioned that there have been pterodactyls seen, still alive, in Indonesia. Well, the lady raised her hand, and she said, Mr. Hovind, I'm a medical doctor. I'm from Indonesia. My husband and I are both doctors. We came to America to further our training and to learn English.
Her English probably wasn't that good,
Her English was not that good,
yeah,
right?
okay.
Right. I'm looking for her name here. I've got it. Emma, E-M-A Wate, I think, was her name. It was some kind of Indonesian name. Yeah, here it is, Irma, E-R-M-A-W-A-T-Y. She told me back in the 4th month of 2000, that's 5 years ago, that they have an animal in Sumatra that the natives there call it Arangbatai, A-R-A-N-G-B-A-T-I, which means man with wings. When I showed her a pterodactyl, she said, yes, that's what we have. They live in Papua New Guinea, or in Indonesia, on one of the islands called Seram, S-E-R-A-M. Now, some maps will have it C-E-R-A-M. In the island of Seram, which is just west of Papua New Guinea, the big island, on the volcanoes, which is, nobody lives on this island because it's so volcanic, but there are caves up there, and the natives say, yes, there's this Arangbatai that lives there, about 4 foot tall, is the way they describe it, with roughly 7 foot, 8 foot wingspan, I'm guessing. And so she said, when I mentioned this to her, here she is brand new from this area, come to America to learn English, and she said, yeah, we have those in our country over there. Why do your American textbooks teach they lived millions of years ago? I said, it's a very good question. I've been asking that for 15 years. I'd like to get an answer.
Okay, so are you changing your story to pterodactyls then?
Well, you asked about dragons, and I think flying, the Bible mentions flying fiery serpents in the book of Isaiah.
Yeah.
Flying dragons. And many of the dragon legends, if you look at any dragon book, I've got probably 10 of them here in the library, they do often talk about a flying dragon.
Right. So pterodactyls were not dinosaurs.
That's what I said earlier. But they're certainly listed in books of dinosaurs, and they're technically, as far as dinosaurs, the only ones I'm aware of reported still alive would be the ones in Congo or Cameroon, Africa.
We're all birds, according to me.
What?
There's all birds descended from dinosaurs.
Yeah. You can see the similarities between T-Rex and a canary, that's for sure.
Actually, you can.
Oh, yeah, they both have eyes. They both have feathers except for the T-Rex.
They're both bipedal and share many anatomical similarities in their skeletal structure. After reading a lot about evolution, every time that I see a bird now, I can see the resemblance between birds and theropod dinosaurs.
You have been brainwashed. Absolutely brainwashed.
No, I don't think so.
I know so on that one. I saw Jurassic Park, and at the end he's flying off in the helicopter, and he's looking at that pelican thinking, that thing used to be a T-Rex. So ludicrous.
Not T-Rex. T-Rex is a distant cousin. But.
Oh, well, what about the lizard hip, problem with the lizard hip dinosaurs evolved into the birds? They got to turn their hip around, too,
Yeah. Do you have a source that talks about that? Because I don't know what you're talking about, really.
You can ask anybody about, what they say. Obviously, there are 2 types of dinosaurs, ornithischia and, what's the other one? Lizard hip and bird hip is what it amounts to in the Latin. And so which type of dinosaur evolved into the bird? And they'll say it was the lizard hip.
So they would say theropod.
Well, that creates a real serious problem for just the hip to turn around, for the ilium and ischium and all that to be totally reoriented.
You're claiming that theropods have lizard hips and not bird hips?
That I don't recall. I'd have to look up my notes on that one. It's not something I deal with all the time.
Well, you should look that up because the claim from evolutionary biologists is that theropods evolved into birds, not just any old dinosaur.
Well, first of all, you'd have to admit, nobody's ever seen any animal produce a different kind of animal. So you're going to have to rely on time, and it's going to go outside of science very quickly.
This is a la your caller, Jordan, earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous because, as you've admitted before, if evolution were true, you would need lots of time. So I don't know what your beef is with that.
Well, the point is it's no longer science.
Why is it no longer science just
science
because you can't see it in your own lifetime?
No,
who made up that definition?
Science is things we observe and study and test. Look it up in the dictionary.
Yeah, we do study and observe and test certain things about evolution.
Yeah, and we don't see a bird come from a dinosaur or a reptile.
And we don't see protons either.
Well, that's red herring. Okay.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. If you want to claim that is scientific statement to say birds came from dinosaurs, you would have to demonstrate this.
How about Archaeopteryx and Confuciusornis and Microraptor and things like that?
Archaeopteryx, 6 have been found now. They have teeth in their beak. Program's over. You need to watch my video 4, because I cover Archaeopteryx in great detail.
We'll talk about it next time.
Good. Call in Monday, folks. We'll be back. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.